Hello, everybody. I hope you're good. I am a little early today, and I hope everybody's doing well. And for those of you that are joining us for the first time, we are going to make a junk journal. We're making a junk journal today, and I'm excited. Hi, how are you, Miss Grizzle? So we're going to make a junk journal. So for those of you that want to start and make one with us, hi, Virginia. Hi, Amberly. So we're going to make a super simple, super easy junk journal today. Hi, Tracy. I have a mess going on here. It's not as bad as it usually is, so I guess I should be good with that. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Kat. Hi, Carrie. So if you guys want to start, if you want to make one with us, I'm going to show you a couple of different versions. One is going to be made with a 4x6 envelope, which is just super simple, and some coffee dyed papers. And then another one we'll make with junk mail. This is a junk mail one. It's just 10 pieces of junk mail. And I already started by gathering and opening my junk mail, but we can do it from start to finish, and this is the window envelope. Hi, Alta. Well, we're happy you're here. And hi, Pat. Pat can't talk back, but she's with us. So everybody send Pat a big hug and kiss. Hi, Arlena. Welcome, welcome. And then here's another one that I made with a brown paper bag. And I mean, these are just super simple, easy to make junk journals out of whatever you have in your home. And so that's what we're going to do. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll make one with painty papers. So everybody get whatever you want to work on. There's no right or wrong. And if you want to do it with scrapbook paper, get that too. So tell me how you guys have been. I can't wait to hear about everybody. Pat, everybody's giving you a great big hug. Hi, Nancy. Nancy, I have your package ready to mail. I'm sorry I haven't mailed it. I will try to, if I can get it, how do you take it to the airport? You guys, my head's not thinking. To the post office today, I will. Otherwise, I'll send it to you tomorrow. And I sent you like a deluxe one instead of I know that you just got a simple one, but I sent you a deluxe one because it took me so long to get it together. But I hope you like all the cool little bits and pieces I stuck in there for you. Hi, Lori. So you guys were going to make a 10-page junk journal. And if you want to make yours out of scrapbook paper, get your 10 pieces. If you want to make it out of junk mail, get your 10 pieces. You want to make it out of an envelope with some coffee dyed paper or some copy paper, get that. It's all the same, really. It's just going to be whatever you choose to use for your supplies. Oh no, you broke your glasses? Oh no, that's not good, Carrie. Ooh, Amberly, I'm sorry. Amberly said she's having a pain day, so that's not good. Carrie says big hugs and kisses, Pat. Yeah, Pat's having her treatment today, so everybody send Pat love. She's watching from her treatment. So how has your week been? Mine has been eventful. Eventful. So mine's been fun, but it's been, you guys, it's never dull. I never have a dull moment, which is not bad, but sometimes I would like a dull moment. Dull moments can be good sometimes, right? So what you need to start your junk journal is 10 pieces of mail or 10 book pages of any kind. They can be a mixture. If you want to do your painty papers, you could do that. Nancy says, hi, Pat. She's giving you big hugs, and she's thinking about you. And Arlena's saying hi, Pat, too. Will somebody go over and post in our Facebook group that we're on? So I will show you guys this huge bag of mail that this friend gave me, which I think is awesome, but at the same time, it's like a little overwhelming, So you ready? This is this huge bag of junk mail. Can you see it? Huge bag of junk mail. Hi, Linda. Okay, this is a huge bag of junk mail, and so I just thought that I would show you guys, like, when I'm going to just take some of it out and show you that you can make a junk journal from anything. You don't have to have beautiful things, but you can. If you have magazine pages, you can. This is just junk mail that's in here that she sent me. I mean, this is like a mass quantity of junk mail, you guys. This is more junk mail than I ever get, which I'm not complaining about, because, you know, sometimes not having junk mail isn't bad. Oh, that's got some cool graphics on it. Oh, and it's got a really nice, cool security envelope. So, Amberly says, love you, Pat. I know, it's big, right, Kat? It is a lot of junk mail. I didn't ask her how long she saves it for me, but, and you know, most of the time, you guys, I go through it all and I just pick out what I want. I'm sort of a picky junk mail collector, but for the sake of this being like the first time for a lot of people I'm making a junk journal, I'm not going to be picky, and I'm just going to show you that you can use everything. You've been hoarding stuff too? Well, she just brought me this, Nancy. She just brought me this junk mail. I don't know. She might have brought it to me last week. I honestly left the bag in the garage because I was just a little bit overwhelmed. Okay, so we're going to collect 10 pages of anything. So for those of you, and maybe I'll bind all of them, all right? But for right now, I'm just going to cut 10 pieces of junk mail. I'm gonna show you how I do my junk mail, but you can do yours any way you want. There's no right or wrong, and there's no, it's a junk journal, right? There's no right or wrong. Hi, Pam. Now, I save all of it. Like, this to me is like awesome, right? This is like, it looks like she tore off something in it, but it's got a fold out, so that's good. So I may end up doing it a little differently, and I love window envelopes. I do, you know, and I like window envelopes. And you know, you guys, the idea with a junk journal is that you're making your own art supplies. So if you don't actually journal, like many people don't write in their journal, make it a visual journal. Make it like a glue book. And just use this as a base, you know? Just use these pieces as a base. And they're fun to make. So, what do you guys write? Hi, Joyce! It is Aloha Friday. You guys, I was so happy it was Friday. How many of the rest of you are happy it's Friday? I am totally happy it's Friday. She definitely gets a lot more junk mail than I do, that's for sure. Now, it doesn't matter that all this has writing on it. You can, at some point, we can either glue over it, or you can either glue over it, or you can, and this is like kind of a nice piece of card. I can make a tag out of it if I painted it. You can glue over it, or you can, if you don't want to glue over it, you can paint over it. So there's no right or wrong with it. This one's just a junk mail journal. Hi, all you lurkers. Say hi. Say hey. Hi, Susan. How are you? Hi, Scotty. Scotty says she took 21 large greeting cards and envelopes and glued them together for her journal. So see, you can make it out of anything. Save your Christmas cards. Save your, you know what? You can make a junk journal from any piece. From anything. Anything. So mine's only going to be 10 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 3 more or 2 more in a cover. And I might look for a big piece of, oh, I like this bird on this one. Oh, I like this one. It's in different languages. This is some sort of healthcare thing, but it's in a bunch of different languages, which is good. So let me see. Guys, I got a lot going on here. I got a lot of junk mail. She gave me a lot. Oh, this one's kind of cool. Oh, this is a map. Wow. Wow, very cool. You guys, you can make your junk journals out of anything. I just need a couple of more pieces of mail. I was just looking to see if something outstanding. And you know I love my Costco flyers. I love to make flowers out of my Costco flyers. I was looking to see if I found something, just something a little bit different than what I have. This might be a good cover. Maybe I'll make this, maybe I'll use that as the cover because it's sort of thick. And let me see, I need a couple more pieces. Maybe I'll do an envelope inside. And here, that looks good. Okay. So you guys, this is just to show you, you know, you can make it out of anything. So let me see. This one I might use as the cover because it's like a thicker, fatter, you know, it's thicker mail. It has some sticky on it, so I'll have to deal with that at some point. So let's see what this is going to be like here. And I can move it all around, and I can paint it. I will tell you this, if you want to paint your junk mail, if you're going to gesso your junk mail, I may decide, maybe I'll gesso this one. I didn't gesso the other one. If you want to gesso your junk mail, you should do it before you bind it together because it's just easier for it to dry and lay flat. But let's just see what this is. Let's see if this works. I might have to trim it a little, but I think it will work. I think I only have to trim this one piece, just a tiny bit. If you want to paint, like just gesso it. I'm not saying like paint it. I'm not saying decoratively painting it. I'm just saying if you want to gesso, especially if you want to gesso the cover. Okay, so this one would be a good one, right? So I have that, and I have these extra envelopes to which I may, maybe this one's better. To which I'm going to fold in half and then make pockets from. So, your husband rolls his eyes when you say what? Hi, Vicki. Hi, Jane. Your husband rolls his eyes when you say don't throw away the junk. You know what? I think we all have had that experience. I think we have all had that experience. You know, because, you know, we're not used to keeping the junk mail. We're used to throwing it out. We are used to throwing it out. So I'm just going to notch this down just so that when I bind it in the journal, both of the flaps on the envelope still open as a pocket. Does that make sense? So, and I might move my pages around. So how many of you guys have made a junk mail journal? And then how many of you guys have actually used a junk mail journal once you've made it? How many of you have made one, and then how many of you have actually used one? Used one of the journals that you've made. How many have made one, and how many have used one? They're super freeing and fun to use. They're fun to use for a lot of different reasons. I mean, you know, you can make it into just about anything, and I think I'm going to cut this off. You can use them for just about anything, you know, like, especially if you like to art journal. They're really fun to art journal in. At least I think so. That's my take on it. But, you know, you could have a different, you can totally have a different feeling for you, you know. So, this is, now I may gesso this one, but I've got a couple of other ones in process, so let's just look at my mess that I've got going on here. And you can see for yourself. So let me put all my junk mail back in the bag. And so this one we can just bind plain. It does have that sticky stuff on it. Let's see if I can, usually I keep a piece of tape here, like a piece of tape that I've cut off or cut something of, and then I use it to get the sticky off of the envelope. You've never made any type of journal, Arlena? Well, they're fun. They're super fun. Hi, lurkers. Say hey. They're super fun to make. It's very addictive, okay? Warning, it is very addictive. I have not, honestly, guys, I think everything that I make, it suddenly becomes like an addiction for me, right? So, like, I've given away all the ones I've made recently, you guys. I usually have a pile of them here, but I've given them away, or they've gotten used, or I don't know. So this is one that I made from a brown paper shopping bag, and I just painted on top of it with a credit card. Nothing fancy, you know. I did take it to my sewing machine and I zigzag sewed the bottom of the bag down and the sides. And then I sewed my junk mail. I don't know if this is what this one has in it. Matte pages, sheet music, a brown paper book cover, coffee dyed paper, an atlas pocket, calendar page, you know, my favorite Tom Clancy books. So this one's ready to start working in, like to embellish and collage in or do whatever I want to in. This one's ready. This one I haven't bound yet. This one's just junk mail all piled together. I did take the envelope apart and I painted it with that chalkboard paint, you know, the one I told you guys that I have so much of. And then I used a stamp. Gail, you don't have to do anything with it, okay? If you enjoy just making painty papers, if you enjoy recycling, if you just enjoy using art as a therapy, you don't have to, you don't have to have a use for anything. Actual true art has no purpose. So if you can just free yourself up to enjoy yourself and have a good time, for me, that's enough. So this one has just junk mail in it. So I guess I could decide whether I'm going to paint this junk mail or not. And then this one is just completely junk mail with nothing at all. So this is what I have. And then I have this one where I was going to paint the cover or do something to the cover, and maybe I'll glue a painty paper on the outside of the cover and maybe put a paper napkin on, and then this will be a junk journal as well. And this one is just made with coffee dyed paper. That's all. Yes, Kat, post it when you're done. I'd love to see what you're making. We all would. Hey, lurkers, say hi. Is it quiet where you are? Oh no, quiet. Oh, hi, quiet. I thought Carrie, I thought you were saying hello, quiet, because everybody was like gone from your house. So, let me see. Maybe you know what I'll do is I'm going to put these to a side. I'll still work on all of them, but let me work on the cover of this, and then let me gesso the cover, at least gesso the cover. Gesso the cover of this. And then I guess I could gesso the junk mail too. I guess we can discuss whether we should gesso the junk mail. I guess it depends upon what you want. So I'm thinking maybe I'll glue some painty papers on top of this. I have my painty papers. How many of you guys have made painty papers with me? Super fun, very addictive. Who's addicted to making painty papers? Anybody besides me addicted to making painty papers? You guys know I am totally addicted to making painty papers. I can't help myself. I just can't help myself. I cannot help myself. Let's see if I like that painty paper. This is a painty magazine page. I could do a nicer one, or I could just do, I thought I had some I had brought some pieces of serendipity paper over here, but Let me see. Let me see what I have that I really like, that I'll like on the front of this. Because of me, you rarely use a brush anymore. You know, I have my favorite brushes, Nancy, and I'm not trying to make you have a bad habit. It's just, you know what happens for me is I go to sit down. Does this happen to anybody else? I go to sit down to work on something. And then I get there and I don't have all the stuff that I need because I get distracted before I even get there. And then because I get distracted, you know, from my kid or whatever, you know, like how life sometimes does. So then I just say, forget it. I want to just have the creative process. I don't really always go back for the, let me see. These book pages are not quite big enough, but I could probably put a few together. Maybe I will put a couple of them together. Maybe I'll glue a couple of painty papers together and make the journaling, to make a cover. That might be what I do. Carrie says she found 2 real library envelopes with the cards in them. Awesome! Aloha, Kiala. Happy Aloha Friday to you too. The credit cards do make the paint go on really smooth. I completely agree with you. My favorite thing right now is the Starbucks card. You guys know me and I have issues, okay? I'm not gonna lie. I totally have some issues. So I'm gonna just glue these 2 papers together, and then I'm gonna put them on my, I'm going to cover my junk journal with them, at least on the front, and on the inside I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. So do you guys have big weekend plans? Guys, I have just my paperwork extravaganza that is still continuing. That is what I'm doing this weekend. I'm doing paperwork extravaganza. That is it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue my envelope. I'm going to put a whole lot of glue stick, and I'm using a permanent glue stick on this. You could use wet glue if you wanted, whatever it works best for you. You know, there's no rules in this. You find your own zen, you know. So this weekend I have my paperwork extravaganza. What else do I have going on? Guys, I have so many ridiculous things to do. And I'm still doing my calamari. I'm doing my calamari big time. I have like boxes of stuff to donate. I've gone through, I don't know if I've gone through all of my supplies, but I've gone through a great many of my supplies, and what I don't think I'm going to use, or what I've had for a long period of time and just hasn't seen the light of day, I'm going to pass on. You know, I'm going to pass it on, because it's just like, you know, I'm only one person. There's only so much I can make. You did, hi Beth, you did jelly printing pages? You're going to a birthday party, Kat? Awesome, good for you. Good, good, good for you. You are going, Kat's going to a birthday party. What are the rest of you guys doing? I'm just putting it down more on one end than the other so that I can use these extra pieces for something else. You guys know me, I'm going to use my handy dandy glue top for my burnisher. And I'm going to turn it over and use a credit card too, but I'm just burnishing down with my closed glue stick. You're going on, Cal is going on an adventure to find the tamale factory in Augusta, Arkansas. Oh, that sounds fun. Jane says she'd rather give up most of her clothes than her art supplies. I already did my calamari in my closet, Jane. You know what? I did more calamari in my closet, even though, and then I did calamari in my daughter's room. Oh my gosh, that was very painful. We haven't finished. We only did what withstand, but we did get rid of a lot of stuff that she can't wear because she's growing. And my middle daughter, she is always doing it. She's a purger. She really purges well. She doesn't need any reason. Although I will say that she definitely purged probably more than she would have because I was purging and just talking to her about, you know, like my stuff. And she purged. She did a good job. I was proud of her. My middle daughter, she is really good at purging. Actually, my older daughter too. My older daughter, the only thing with her is that she throws everything out. So sometimes, you know, like she gets to the point where it just gets on her nerves, so she just lets it all go, you know? Sometimes it's not always good. Because then she'll regret it. She'll like need it. She'll be like, oh, I got rid of those pants or whatever, and she needed them. I'm going to take this envelope claspy thing out. Now, you're going to glue this down anyway, so don't worry if you rip it, okay? You just need to take it off. And depending upon how cheap your envelopes are, sometimes the cheap ones, the clasps are really good. Linda says she's going to a birthday party tomorrow for an 8-year-old. Oh, and you made her a flow type journal. Oh, Linda, she's going to love it. Kelly, we're making a junk journal. We're making just a simple junk journal. So Linda made an 8-year-old a flow journal, and she made 6 cards for her to design. Oh my gosh, with lots of papers and trims and ribbons. Oh, she's going to dig it. She's going to so dig it. She is going to love it. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome. Carrie's saying she's going on vacation to her aunt's for 2 weeks. That's going to be awesome, Carrie. You're going to have a great time. Hi, Kate. Yeah, well, if you've tried that KonMari system, which we lovingly call here at Crafting Mamas the calamari, because of our lovely Susan Z, the first thing you do is your own personal clothes. Okay, that's the first thing you calamari your clothes. So I calamaried my clothes. That was not the issue for me. The issue was not my personal clothes. The issue, I told you guys, was my books. It's like I have this thing because of my obsession with junk journaling or my obsession with collaging or whatever you want to call it. I have this obsession with used books, and I love them. And I'll show you my newest obsession. Oh my gosh, you guys, I made a bunch of pockets the other day with it, and I'm just in love with it. And I got it from they were throwing it away. Okay, so now the only thing is when you're making, when you're covering anything, start from the center out. I know maybe I didn't do it on this side, but it feels like it's down. I use glue stick. When you use wet glue, you definitely have to burnish from the center out. Okay? Anyway, this is going to be covered on the inside, so I'm not going to get like too worked up over it if it's not perfect. That's such a great gift. I agree, Kate. It's such a great gift, Linda. You know, kids love to craft, and kids really, I mean, they're not so judgmental. You know, if you're sending them and giving them something you love, they usually totally love it. All right, I need to cut mine closer. Sorry, guys. I don't like a pointy edge, and I didn't cut it close enough on that side. So you're gonna go. So are you guys gonna Is anybody planning any sort of crafting weekend this weekend? Is anybody gonna craft? Has anybody been joining Carla for her Football Widows crafting? I haven't been able to, but I'm going to. Hi, all you lurkers out there. Say hi. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Jasmine. You guys, if you want to talk to me, yell at me in all caps. It's not because I don't want to talk to you. Sometimes I miss it. Sometimes the chat goes by so fast that I miss whatever anybody's saying. I miss it. And so I love Carla. Don't you guys love going over there and crafting with her? I love her too. She's such a wonderful person, and she's so giving, and I appreciate her very much. So if you guys want, if you want to craft along on a live stream, she's doing Sunday at, what time, you guys? 2 p.m.? Is it 2 p.m. her Eastern time? Is that when she's doing it? Guys, keep in mind I'm going to cover the inside. I'll have to get a different painty paper to cover it with. That's the good and the bad of painty papers. The good is you always can make more. The not so good is you sometimes run out before you actually can make your project, or before like if you're not planning on making a whole complete something for like something like this, you may have to use a couple of different kinds, which is okay too. Which is okay too. Scotty says her cat's been crafting at night when she goes to bed. Oh my God, Scotty, I can totally relate. Sometimes I come back from I walk away from something and it just looks like a person came into my house and like just crafted away while I wasn't looking. I can totally relate, Scotty, totally relate. You know what's fun about making these out of junk mail is if you're just starting out and say you have some nice expensive scrapbooking paper, but you don't necessarily want to, you don't know what you want to do with it. Once you've made a few of these out of, junk mail, you can go back and make it out of anything. So if you really get into it and you say, oh, I think I want to make myself a December daily, or I want to make myself a, I don't know, how many of you guys do your own version of smash booking, or whatever you want to call it, scrapbooking, smash booking? I like to make a December daily. And does anybody else make a December daily? Am I the only one? I'm just cutting little notches like you would if you were sewing. Not that you have to, but just to get the pieces to lay down better. The corners, because this envelope has corners on it. So, does anybody else like to make a December daily? A December daily, for those of you that don't know, is like a little scrapbook, and it's sort of like you scrapbook every single day in December. Generally, people do it around like a special holiday or a birthday. You could scrapbook every day and not need a reason, but a December daily is just for that month, and generally you do it from from Thanksgiving till Christmas, or sometimes till New Year's. So, no, it's just sort of like a running journal of what you've done in the day. It's like a scrapbook style journal, or like a planner style journal called December Daily. If you guys were going to do a December daily, this would be a great little December daily to do. What's cool is if you put 10 pages in it, that's 40 sides of paper to work on. So that gives you, I think, ample paper to work with. Unless you're like a crazy scrapbooker and want to do. So this is the front so far, and I'm going to like the front. And I'm going to add more embellishment to it. Now I just need to put one on the inside. So maybe I'll use this as my inside paper. And then I also need something for the inside lip. So I think I'm going to use this as my inside lip. So does anybody else December daily? I'm missing it. Okay, so Kate says she wants to craft, but with 2 little kids, by the time you get them to sleep, you're exhausted. I can relate, Kate. My kids are older, so I get it. Carrie says her cousin used to be a scrapbooker and she can't do it anymore, but she still has her stuff and she's giving it to you. Woo, good for you. What is Inktober? I don't know what Inktober is. Is it an ink drawing a day? Okay, cool. And for those of you that are just starting out, you know, finding yourself 15 minutes a day to art is, I think, really, it's very therapeutic. Hey, Kathy. Okay, all you lurkers out there, say hi. Now, for those of you that have never made anything like this, we're going to make just a super simple junk journal. I'm going to make a couple of different versions. So if you just want to grab, if you don't have an envelope, if you want to grab a piece of junk mail, you can use that as your cover. If you have a brown paper bag and you've painted on it, a painted paper, a piece of cardstock, whatever you want to use, okay? I like using recycled materials. You don't have to like that. You can do whatever you want. There are no rules. It's your junk journal. It's your journal. And somebody just said, I don't know what I do with it. You can do anything with it. If you like to glue book, if you like to scrapbook, if you like to just jot notes down for the grocery store or shopping lists, or I mean anything that you would use a pad of paper for is basically what you can do with a junk journal. A pad of paper or composition book, I mean, do you write down inspiration? If you're doing a home renovation, these are really great little books to keep your ideas, paint swatches, stuff like that in. If you wanted to, I'm just burnishing down my glued paper. That's all I'm doing. You could do this with a bone folder. I sometimes use the back of my scissors, using a Starbucks gift card in the top of my glue stick, just to get all the bubbles out. And I need to peel this up because it's too, I need to work on that. Anyway, I need to cut it off. So you can use a junk journal for anything. There is no rhyme or reason. It's your scrapbook. It's your thing. Like, so there doesn't have to be, and there also doesn't have to be a purpose for it, you know? You can just enjoy the process of making it. Sometimes when I'm super stressed out, just simply sitting down and gluing some stuff in a little book is all I need. You know, a good cup of coffee or a cup of tea or a glass of wine if you drink wine. Whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong. All right, I'm going to have to trim this. I thought I could tuck it in, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to trim it. I'm going to trim it. So, I mean, that's really all it is. You don't have to have a reason. You don't have to, there's no ultimate purpose for it. It's just for your own self, or for art's sake. Art for art's sake. Does that work for some of you? Art for art's sake? Art for art's sake. I usually make art just for art's sake. I don't necessarily have to have a rhyme or reason for it. You're lurking? Well, we're happy to see you, Samantha. Hi, Fran. So, and if you guys have like kids in your life, like this is such a fun way. I've made these with my now 11-year-old. I've also made them with my older kids. I've given them as gifts to my older kids. I've made them with my older kids. My daughter that's 19 and in college, I've made her a few, and she's given them to her friends as gifts. And then they all start making them themselves. So it just opens up like an idea of like, this is just a creative way to use, recycle, renew, whatever it is that you want. Okay, so that's my cover so far. I am going to cut a piece to go inside. I am going to cut, a piece that goes inside there. What I might do is I might glue this piece all the way inside and then put the other one on top. I don't know. Guys, this is not perfect, and it doesn't have to be. Once you let go of the idea that everything has to be perfect or everything has to have a purpose, and just focus on the fun of it. You know, like, are you having fun? Is this an enjoyable thing? That is what I vote. That's my vote. You guys got my 411. That's my vote. You guys got my 411. Your 7-year-old loves making it. I bet so, Amberly. You know, it just opens up a whole world for them, too. You know, it opens up a world that maybe they would have never thought about before, right? I mean, honestly, how many of you guys ever thought about, you know, crafting from what you had right in your own, like, recycling? Now, keep in mind, everything that we're making here, you can make out of scrapbooking paper. You don't have to. Just because I like using recycled stuff doesn't mean you do. You have to, okay? So everything, it's just paper crafting, and you can make it out of anything. It doesn't have to be out of what I'm doing. Okay? So just keep that in mind. So if you find yourself going, I have all this beautiful graphic 45 scrap paper, I don't want to make it out of junk mail, well then don't. Use your graphic 45. Use what you have. That is the whole idea. The whole idea is to use what you got. And you don't have to, just because I like making mine out of used painted book pages or whatever, you don't have to. Use what you got and enjoy what you have, right? So, hi, Alana. Oh, I'm happy to see you. Yeah, we're making just a super simple junk journal. That's all we're making today. You can make it out of, we're going to make a couple of different versions, and you can make yours out of anything you want. This one's a little manila envelope that came from the office supply store. Actually, I think it might have come from Target. And then it's just covered in some painty book pages that I made. And then, all right, so I've got my envelope covered. Now all I need to do is fold it in half, and this will be how it is when I finally finish, when I bind it, this is the inside and the outside. Now you can, these are just super simple, so you can add whatever embellishments you want to it, okay? So that's cover number 1. Now, while I've got, let's work on the covers before we start the pages on the inside. And so I'm gonna paint the front of my junk mail, this piece. Now you could also cover this in book pages too, but I think I'm gonna paint it first, and I'm gonna paint it. This is a cover for one, so now we've got three different covers going on here, and I'm gonna paint this one. I'm just gonna paint it with, this cheap acrylic paint. I mean, you could gesso it if you have gesso, but I'm just gonna paint it with just cheap white acrylic paint. And I'm going to paint it with a credit card. As Nancy says, my favorite medium, a credit card, a gift card. You may need more than one coat if you want to cover up all the writing. Hi, Jan. Do you know what? Sometimes YouTube is really... Has anybody else been having YouTube issues but me lately? I have been having severe YouTube issues lately. Like, it won't load for me either. So, I don't know. I've just been having severe YouTube loading issues too, Jan, so I can relate. Okay? I don't know what it is. And it can't be my internet provider because my internet provider is like, we have a very high speed one, and I don't know. Just, now if you guys had some lightweight sandpaper and you're using this really shiny junk mail, sometimes that works good if you wanted to sand it ahead of time. I didn't this time, just for time's sake. Hi, Malia, you're lurking tonight? Hey, lurk away. Right, you lurker, say hi. You stop and shop after your treatment, Scotty? Shopping can be therapy. Hi, Sherry. Shopping can totally be therapy. You guys, there's not great places to shop here, so, I mean, maybe if you guys are on vacation, you would think it was great, but no, and there's only, if we had a Michael's or a Joann's, that would be a different situation. Then at our Hobby Lobby, I might really have some issues, but we don't, so the shopping is pretty minimal here, and you just gotta go with it. You can't really, like, you just can't worry about it. You just sort of go with it. And just don't shop. If you shop online, you know? I don't know what they did before we shopped online. I guess everybody just went to, like, the mainland, LA, Oregon, or the closest places are Vegas. Things are well in my world. Still ridiculous, Alana, but, you know, it's okay. Ridiculous is not a bad thing. Ridiculous is not always bad. Frustrating at times, but not bad. But things are good. Still up to my eyeballs in paperwork, but I'm hoping I know for definite I have like another week of it. Maybe a little longer. I don't know. It just depends. It just depends. Just depends. That's all. Just depends. Just depends. Oh, thanks, Carrie. I appreciate a thumbs up. Have you guys noticed that before we even get started, you guys can see it now. I don't have the regular. I'm not viewing it from a watched page. I'm viewing it from the broadcasting page. I've had so many thumbs down lately, you guys. I just laugh. I mean, I don't care. I mean, who wants to waste their time giving a crafter a thumbs down? But sometimes I get them before the stream is even started. Okay, but I guess it's like feedback is good no matter what. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna set it aside and let it dry before I do anything to the next stage of it. So for those of you that are just gonna make a junk mail journal, just making it out of your junk mail, now would be the time to decide. Now, granted, this is not the finished product of the painting, but this is the first layer. But now would be the time to decide if you're going to paint all of your junk mail that's going to go in your journal. Now would be the time to do that. If you're going to paint it, if you're going to gesso it, or if you're going to, I'm just using wax paper. Somebody asked me the other day what I use. Just wax paper. So now would be the time, if, like, I'm not going to paint my security envelope, but now would be the time if I wanted to gesso or give a coat of, if you want to do any sort of priming on your junk mail, now would be the time. Now would be the time to prime your junk mail. Now would be, or if you're gonna, whatever you're gonna do, now would be the time to do it before you bind it together. I'm not saying finish it like a journal, but I'm just saying if you wanted to do like your coat of your base coat, now would be the time. And do your coat super thin, you guys. Don't try to cover it all up. Part of the beauty of it, I think, in making a junk journal is that you do see it's really junk, you know? And not all junk journals are junk or made from junk mail. Many junk journals are made from scrapbooking paper or pattern paper or whatever. But I would just say if you're going to do this, now would be the good point, the good time to do it. Unless you're going to glue something over the top of all of it. And do them one side at a time and let them dry. Because these pieces of paper really are not necessarily set up for paint. Like, I don't think that when somebody's sending you their junk mail, they're like, oh, they're going to paint that junk mail. You know? I think that it's just, it's thin. You know, the paper's thinner than maybe like what you would paint on. Not that you can't paint on thin paper, but just do it one side at a time. You'll have a better result. You'll have definitely a better result if you do it one side at a time. And you don't have to paint it all out. You can if you want to. You don't have to. Okay? And you guys can see my little palette was not clean. It was, still must have had some wet paint on it because it's, so I'm just going to paint one side of my junk mail for this particular, for that one journal that I'm making mostly out of, junk paper. What did you say, Luana, about a bank statement? There's no bank statements here. And I probably don't even need to paint this one because I can paint out the Kaiser part because it just has all these different languages for interpreters. So I don't necessarily need to paint that out. I don't necessarily think I would use a bank statement, but you use whatever you want. It's your junk mail, it's your junk journal. If you're not giving it away, what does it matter? Besides, who gets a bank statement anymore, you guys? I only get I get all my banking stuff online. Do you guys get bank statements still? I don't even know if they give the option at my bank to have a statement. These were all junk mail, like AARP things, and these all came from my friend. So Jan says she got a prospectus from her IRA. She glued 2 pages together, and now she's making a junk journal, and she has adjusted the pages. Sounds awesome. Okay, so what's fun about this is if you just want to have like some zen, you know, you just want to have a little zen, you can make your own painty papers out of this sort of thing and be zen with it. Like, don't, these are fundraising letters, so, and don't take it so serious, you know, it's just a little cheap paint on some junk mail that would have been thrown away or recycled. So, and they do make really great collage things too. I agree. You know what I like is one of my kids is really into cooking Asian noodles, and they have some really cool packaging for Asian noodles. Here, at least, we have like a million different kinds of. You know, Hawaii is a melting pot for lots of Asian cultures, so there's lots of really cool udon noodles. Hi, Kathy. I'm new. Can I send Happy Mail or do I have to wait? No, you can send Happy Mail. If you belong to our Facebook group, Crafting Mamas, we have a rack list on there, and pretty much everybody that wants to receive or send Happy Mail can send Happy Mail. No, there's no rules to Happy Mail. My only rule with Happy Mail is, like, don't go ask people for Happy Mail. Like, if you want to send Happy Mail, I love that. But I wouldn't necessarily ask people for Happy Mail. You know, you never know what somebody's financial situation is, and you never know. Postage can be expensive if you live in a, it can just be expensive, you know? So my vote is send away, but just don't ask other people for happy mail. You know, it doesn't mean that you can't put a thing in there and says, you know, I have a bunch of, I don't know, I have a bunch of ribbon. Would anybody like to trade me for something? That's a different situation. But you can send to anyone happy mail in our group. I'm sure everyone is really joyful and happy to receive it. And I'm just going to paint. I like the security envelope, the pattern on one side, but I'm going to just paint out the USA part. Now, this is not how it's the final thing of how it's going to be, but it's just, it's sort of like a base coat, you know? It's like giving you a base coat so that when you finally put all your pieces together, and then you decide, okay, I'm going to use this. How am I going to use this? Am I going to use it? Am I going to use it like am I going to journal in it? Like write in it? Am I going to glue in it? What am I going to do? So these all just need to dry. And then combine them together. So if you guys have never done bookbinding before, we're going to do super simple, easy 3-hole pamphlet stitch, nothing that exciting. Okay? And there's lots of cool other stitches to do, but my vote is if you have never done it, try it with something really simple first. Oh, Jane, it's awesome. Jane said she used medical instructions. I love that. Your family laughs when you get AARP mail. It's not my AARP mail, but yeah, my friend saves it for me. Awesome, Kate. Yeah, put it up there. Ask anybody if they want to swap with you. That's a great idea, Kate. Music paper is always awesome. Hi, Edna. Edna, how's your family? Still sending you prayers and sending prayers to Puerto Rico. And Houston and Florida and all the places where the storms have hit. Okay, my hands are like, I was gluing earlier, girls, and my hands are like glued up. I was like glued up. Hi, Lynn. Okay, so we've got some of our junk mail that we've painted. We have some, this is the cover for my coffee dyed paper. So maybe what I'll do is I'll sew my coffee dyed one. Then I could sew this one. This one I may not paint any of the mail in it, and I'm just going to sew it. And then by the time I finish doing both of these, then the ones I just painted will be ready. Okay, let me find, if you guys have a phone book, that's always great, and an awl or a pokey tool, that's great. If you don't have a pokey tool, a push pin works. You can sometimes use, oh, don't tell me I lost, oh my gosh, you guys. I had put my oh, please. I had put my needle in a box, in a paper clip box, so I wouldn't lose it. And of course, like, that is how my life works today. Let's see, hopefully it's in this one. Yay! Okay. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use a Japanese bookbinding tool, a punchy tool. Punch with a hole. I love it. Oh my gosh, the wind's blowing, so everything's going to blow away here. Wait. Oh no, all my papers. You guys, when it gets windy here, it really gets windy. I mean, no holes barred, windy here. Okay, this is a Japanese bookbinding tool, and I'll show you how it works in just a second. Just give me 1 second, you guys. I laid all my coffee dyed papers down, and I think they just blew away. You guys. All right. Okay. These are the pages that I'm going to, my coffee dyed pages that I'm going to put in my little envelope journal, okay? And I'm going to use my 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and I'm going to use my Japanese bookbinding tool. You guys, I got this one at Tuesday morning. It's super cheap. It was probably like $5. You can get better ones online. They have different size bits here. And I'll show you, like, I don't know if you can see, it has a hole in it. And what happens is it has these different size little bits. And this one's the smallest one my tool comes with. You might want to, if you get one, you might want to get like a proper one. You can look on Amazon for them. They punch great holes. So pre-punching your holes always makes it, in my world, I think it's the best way to, in my world, I think it's the best way to bookbind because it makes it easier if your holes are pre-punched. I'm just looking for a piece of paper as a template. All right, I'm going to use this as a template. Okay, so what you want to do when you're going to bind anything is, okay, Kathy wants to know what's the difference between happy mail and a random act of kindness. Okay, happy mail and a random act of kindness are pretty much closely related. A random act of kindness is just when you're sending something not expecting anything in return, okay? Sometimes happy mail can be, and some people even call like the packages that they get, like what they've ordered from Amazon, happy mail. For me, you know, a random act of kindness is like if I have a bunch of stuff that I want to send, that I want to let go of, and I'm just going to send, I'm going to go down our list and I'm just going to send it to somebody, and I'm never going to expect anything in return. Sometimes happy mail can be viewed as a swap, you know, like where you say it could be, happy mail could be the same thing as a rack, but sometimes a happy mail could also be like a swap, like you would, maybe somebody would message me and say, Shelly, you know, I have all of this doilies. Would you like some of the doilies? I'd like to swap you for some of your painty papers or whatever. And then the person goes, okay. And then you decide on a day and you say, okay, we're going to mail it out in a month or however it works. So whatever you guys decide. And then you both ship it out in good faith to each other. So, I mean, there's some people view it as the same thing, but, you know, I think happy mail is anything that makes you happy. A rack can be happy mail. You don't have to do it as something that you want to receive something in return. Okay. The one thing I am going to do, though, before I start binding my little envelope journal is I'm going to decide if I want any pockets that are not just glued separately on the page, you know, like ones that might go all the way across the page, or if I'm going to glue some envelopes in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my pieces. Now, I like to fold mine individually. It is up to you how you do it. Generally, start at the center and fold it out. I mean, I've already cut all of these. These were just 8.5 by 11 sheets of copy paper. I don't know the regular weight copy paper, which I don't know what it is off the top of my head. And start in the center, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold all mine, and then I'm going to decide if I want anything that I want to glue down before I want to bind, anything that I want to be caught in the binding, okay? And because this is just going to be a super simple journal, meaning it's not going to have lots of pockets or lots of different things, you could, this would be the time, like if you were going to, say you were going to make an envelope for the inside of your journal and you wanted it to be bound inside, this would be the time to, you know, get all that in there. If you wanted to put doilies or map pages or whatever, this is the time. You want to line up all the papers and pages that you want in your journal. This one's just going to be a really simple copy paper journal that I may go back and embellish it with some of my serendipity paper or my painty papers or some stuff that I have. Dawn says happy mail is not a bill. Good point, Dawn. Good point. So a 10-page junk journal has 4 sides of paper on it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 10 pages would be 40 pages. 10 pieces, 10 pages folded like this would be 40 pages. Okay? Now that I folded all my paper, now some people like to make theirs in more than one signature. This is just a single signature journal because it only has 10 pages. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decide, I'm going to make a template for my journal. And the template is just for me to be able to punch my holes into my paper and into my cover, okay? So I'm only going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. You could measure yours if you wanted, because I'm not for this one. If I was going to do some big journal where, you know, some big complicated journal or a journal with multiple signatures, I would. But this is only going to have 3 holes in it, and I'm just going to eyeball it. The idea is that you want your holes, if you're going to put like a bunch of different size papers in it, you want it to be able to be bound and want it to catch at least in 2 of the 3 holes, right? At least that's how it works for me. You guys can decide how it works for you. There's no rules, right? So just trying to find a pen. All my pens are missing. I don't know what I'm going to use this journal for, Lynn. I don't know. I just, you know what happened was some lady wrote me this email last week, or maybe it was the week before. You guys, I get random emails from people on YouTube. Now, this is not totally even, but it's good enough for me. Do you see there's like the bottom, the middle, and the top? You can decide if yours has to be exact, measure it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Japanese pokey tool, and my mat underneath here is a cardboard, so it's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch my hole, and then I'll show you what it looks like. You may have to, if you get one of these tools, you're going to love it. They're like really cool. But it punches the holes perfectly. Okay, I may have to do it a couple of times. I may have to do it more on this because it is thick. So I got this email from a lady that watches my YouTube channel, and she's like, you make all this stuff, but I don't know, like, I want to know what to do with it once I've made it. And I want, you know, I get all kinds of crazy stuff from people. So I said, okay. Like she says, you make painting papers, you're painting your junk mail, you're doing all this other stuff. I want to know, like, what do you do with it afterwards? So I thought, well, it'd be a good time to show you guys, or to read. I mean, I've made junk journals with you guys before. All right, this one didn't go all the way through. I've made junk journals with you before, so you know, but, you know, for people that it's new to them, they don't know. That's all good. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my template and I'm going to go back, I'm going to punch my pages. I'm going to punch my pages probably 2 at a time, okay? The one thing you do need to do is know which one's the top and which one's the bottom, because you want to poke them the same way. You want to put a top on it. Okay, trust me, I've done this before. Top, bottom. So now I'm going to just do my paper. Now, if you don't have a Japanese punchy tool like I have, a Japanese bookbinding tool or hole making tool, just use your needle or an awl. But if you're going to use your needle or an awl, I would suggest that you put it in a phone book. You know, you cradle it in a phone book, but with a Japanese bookbinding tool, you don't need to cradle it in a phone book. Okay? Plus, I'm only doing 2 pages at a time. So, like, look, this would be easy enough to do. Look, just poke your needle through it, right? Now that you have your template, just poke your needle through. No, it's easy enough. Hi, Renee! No rules. You know, Luana, I can't function with rules. You know why? It's not that I can't have rules, okay? It's just that I just think it's really silly, especially in art, that we make everyone have all these rules, right? We make everyone have so many rules in art that maybe we don't have otherwise. And then we get caught up in we get more caught up in following the rules than we get caught up in actually creating. That's why I say no rules. Okay? Not because there's not actually rules, but because it's just ridiculous. We get caught up in that, right? We get caught up in the rule part as opposed to the fun part. That's all. Rules can stifle creativity. I agree with you. And think about it. Most of us grew up and went to school where they told you what you couldn't do. Maybe that was only me. Maybe the rest of you guys didn't have that same experience. But I certainly did. Okay. Let's see. I said I was going to glue a pocket in there, but I didn't. It's okay. I can glue other different kinds of pockets. I'm just using embroidery floss. You guys use what you have. Like, don't go out and get a bunch of whatever. Just use what you have. You know, I went to a yard sale and somebody was like, it was the church yard sale. They were like letting go of like tons of embroidery kits, which, you know what I mean? The like counted cross stitch things, which I don't really do, but they were like a dime or a quarter, and I was like, oh, it's got tons of cool thread in it, and it's got that, you know, the cloth that they make the counted cross stitch with. What's that called? So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to have my, I'm going to put my tail on the outside, like I'm going to tie something off of it on the outside. So that's all I'm going to do. Just watch yourself as you do it, because what happens is if you're anything like me, you'll end up pulling your tail through the binding, and then you'll be like, what happened there? Okay, those were not punched. What did I do? Okay, these are punched. This is punched. This one's not punched. This one's not punched. Oh, you guys, what was I doing? Okay, I punched some of them, not all of them. Okay, let's see. All right, some of these all need to be repunched. If you poke your holes first, it makes it so much easier to do your binding. It makes it loads easier to do your binding if you poke your holes first. Whether you're using a Japanese bookbinding tool or you're using a darning needle, or however you're punching your, however you're doing your however you're binding your, punching your holes, or an awl. Makes it easier. Are you guys talking to me? I can't understand. You're talking about your grandson and he being strong-willed. Oh, All my kids have been strong-willed, you guys. I have had, like, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. I think it's just challenging for me. It was challenging for me as a mom. Thanks, Dawn. Dawn says, my journal's coming together nicely. This one I'm going to need the template for. I can't see where the holes were almost punched and didn't go all the way through. I would say invest in a good one of these Japanese punchy tools. I mean, the Tuesday morning cheap version is fine for me at the moment, but you know, it does take a little bit of energy. All right, all you lurkers, say hey, say hello. I think you can get, how much is one of these Japanese book, Aida cloth, you're right, Sherry. How much is one of these Japanese bookbinding tools, you guys? I think that you can probably get one for under $10. And they come with a bunch of, I'll take mine apart in a minute, and you can see all the things it comes with on the inside. I love how this came out. That's from like a baking pan, like a pizza pan, but I like the dots. Kate, you're corralling your little ones. Okay, you know what? Hi, Miss Grizzle. Hi, Tasha. It's more than $10. Well, look on Amazon because I think you can get them for cheap. I think you can get them for fairly cheap. I paid nothing for this one. It's not a fabulous one. I want to say I paid, I don't know, $5 or $6. But if you look at the top of it, let me see if I can get it open. Guys, my hands have been, okay, see how it has all these other tips in it? And this one's being the smallest. A real proper Japanese bookbinding tool will have more than these three. Okay? I like the paper with the dots too. Hi, Vicky! Kate, I don't envy you. I can relate. Having raised my children, and you know, I can really relate. I can relate to how stressful it is. I can relate. It's a lot of work. And if you've never had children and you've never had strong-willed children, you know, I don't know. You definitely need some support. You know, there is something to that adage, it takes a village. I think it takes a village because otherwise the mother is like out of her mind. Otherwise the mother is like, okay, I need like a Calgon take me away moment. Right? How many of you have had that? Where you're just like, I just need 5 minutes by myself in the bathroom without my children. You guys, the dog and the cat, like, I'm like, oh, yay, I'm home by myself. I have, like, a few minutes to myself, and I'll have the dog and the cat. The dog and the cat will decide that that is just not where the plan is. The plan is, you guys, because this journal is so small, I'm being foolish. I should have, like, clamped it all down so that it would have all stayed nice and neat, and I didn't. Okay? Okay, so in through the center. Then pick a hole, the top hole, and then go through all of them, and then make sure you get your tail back here, because if you don't, if you pull it through, you'll be sewing for nothing. You will be sewing for nothing. But pre-punched holes make it so fast. Okay, so you're in the middle to the top. Then you're going to go all the way to the bottom. You're going to go all the way to the bottom. I just don't, mine's just, I want to make sure I have my, now I'm going to go all the way to the bottom and through all my pages. Okay, I know I punched all the holes. Why is this one not punched? This is my life, you guys. Okay, it is. Sorry. And my eyesight's bad. My eyesight is getting bad today. You know what it is? I was reading all these documents earlier. I did some gluing, and then I was reading documents, and I don't know if you guys, after I've read all these like documents for hours and hours, it really can stifle your... Okay, so this is what we have so far. We have one tail on the outside. Okay, we're going to go back through the center, back the same center hole. And take your time and don't be in a hurry. You know, because the thing is that if you take your time and you do it, if you do it right this time, it'll be easier for you in the long run. Sometimes I know for me, like after I've painted all the pages and I've done all the stuff, and then I get sort of impatient at the binding part. Am I the only person that gets impatient at the binding part? Okay, now you want to pull it back out the back end too, okay? Okay, so you have your top and your middle and your bottom, and you want to adjust your pages so that they're not all wonky like mine are at the moment. Okay, so then what you do is you have one side of your thread on one side and one side on the other. Do the same thing if you're doing a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, just you want to go in and out of the same hole at the very end, okay? Put one on each side of the page, and then I'm just tying a knot, okay? So it is bound. It is bound. Simple as that. Hi, Liz. You want a book like this? This is nothing. This is like a manila envelope with some painty papers, Vicki. It's not anything that fabulous. Hi, Mary. You have this tool? I love this tool. Okay, I got mine at Tuesday Morning cheap, but you guys invest in a good one. I mean, they're better ones, okay? Now, all I have to decide is I'm going to probably poke a hole here, right? And then I'll do some sort of binding. But what I thought we would do is now that I have this one done, and then I have this one that I can bind to. How many of you are doing a junk mail version? How many of you are doing the junk mail version? It's the same situation as we just did here, doing the same exact thing. It is so simple, Luana. And then we can just totally, hi all you lurkers, say hey, we see you out there. Okay, so with your, making your template for, I need to make a template for this journal. Okay, and if you have an awl, use it and put it inside, cradle it inside of, if some people have a proper book cradle, I have a phone book, but if you have a Japanese bookbinding tool, you don't need that. Okay, so all I was going to say to you is when you're going to bind something like this, all these pieces of junk mail together, you do want to clip your, use paper clips to clip your papers down while you are poking your holes, or, you know, you want to make sure that you've put them in the order that you want, and you want to make sure that you have, because you're not going to catch them all like this little mail, this little envelope right here. It's only going to get caught in the middle. Okay, so you want to clip your pieces together while you're poking your holes. Does that make sense? You need to clip your mail together because it will move around while you are. I haven't seen Miss VA Pearl. You know, she told me she was going to come, but you know, she got a new puppy. And a new puppy is like a baby, right? It keeps you awake at night. You know? And so I know that she was like, she had said to me earlier that she was coming, but I also don't see my lovely Susan and Bet. Hi, Laurel. Hi, Sarita. Hi, Shelly 20,004. You're doing half junk, Virginia. Awesome. Vicky's having issues with YouTube. She's lurking. We love you, Miss VA Pearl. We love you, Miss Vicky Pearl. I've been having issues with YouTube. You know, they always think they're improving things, and for people like me, it's not that I don't appreciate improvements. I do. Now, this is the other thing that I need to decide. If this is my front, then I need to make sure that my envelopes, if I want my envelopes to open, that's the only other thing, is like, okay. So let's see. This envelope, if this is the front, this envelope needs to go this way, so that it opens the right direction. You know, if any of you guys do glue booking with Carla, these are really fun journals to make for her. Anything, like if you don't want to make an anything goes book out of a composition book, use your junk mail. Use your junk mail. I mean, we all have it. It's a free art supply. That's the way I view my junk mail. I view my junk mail as a free art supply. Hi, Marcy. Oh, I hope you do make some, Marcy. They're so fun. You know, and almost everybody has some form of junk mail. Although saying that, when I visited my friend in Bogota, she didn't really have junk mail. And I didn't ask why. I just, you know, she didn't, because I asked her for some stuff. I did get some things from there. I got some books and went to like I wanted to get some used children's books, but I don't know. They have 9 million people that live in the city of Bogota. You'd think you'd be able to find used children's books, but I didn't. Okay. So this is just my front of my cover, and I used our Carla stamp on it. I used our Carla stamp. Okay, so this one I need to make a template for. Now, the thing is that my cover is bigger than my mail, which is fine, right? But I definitely need a piece of junk mail to make my template with. Let me see what I have. You guys, the most fun thing about this is that it doesn't cost you anything to create it. You know, it just costs you your time. And so if you practice making these little simple junk mail journals, when you finally do decide to either invest in some expensive scrapbooking paper, or you know, you make your own handmade paper, or whatever you do, you will already have decided and mastered all the things and already experienced all the things that can possibly go wrong. And they do. And in junk journaling, stuff goes wrong, you guys. It just does. You can't help it. It's just the nature of things. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my stitches like one here, one here. Let me make my holes one here. This one could be, it's big enough to be a 5-holer, but I'm not doing it 5 holes. Marcy said she just made one out of a paper bag and now she has to embellish it. I like how the paper feels. This one's made out of a paper bag, okay? Marcy, I painted on it, and I'm like, I love how it feels after you've painted on a paper bag, right? The inside I could paint on too. This one I have to embellish as well. But I'm digging the paper bag too. And this was just, look, it's just a paper. It's not even the whole piece of a shopping bag, right? But I did take it to my sewing machine. I did fold down the inside. I don't know if you can see it. I folded it over and I sewed a, you know, like a hem in it, and then I sewed it down the sides. And then I just did that same 3-hole pamphlet stitch on the back, right? And it's got, I think it has 10 or 12 pages in it. But it's a great fun way to just start. So now we have 2 journals. This will be journal number 3. And this will be journal number 3. And this is the top. There, this is the top. The bottom. And what I may do is I may go ahead and poke my holes in my template first and then poke them in my paper. Now, if you guys have an awl, put your awl in the phone book. Put your phone, use your phone book as a book cradle. Okay? All in the phone book in the book cradle. Okay? All in the phone book. And then you do them, you know, I know it seems like it's time consuming to do them 1 page at a time, but actually they come out better. They come out better. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw on mine. I'm going to draw my paper. And then I'm going to take it out. And punch it. Because these are all different sizes, so and then I still have the one that we painted, the gessoed one, right? I still have that one that I need to so that's only going to catch in 2 holes. That's just how it is, and that's page 1, right? I punched it wrong, but it's okay. It's only a junk mail, piece of junk mail. We're not going to get worried about it. Hi, Ash! Okay, let me see if I can, Let's see if I can punch. I'm going to see if there's, I think with a really good Japanese bookbinding tool, you might be able to punch, you might be able to get through more pages than I do. All right, all you lurkers out there, say hey. Say hey. All you lurkers, say hey. Okay, that one's poked. That one is poked in. In 2 places. I need some little bitty paper clips. Yes, hugs, Ash. Hugs to you too, Edna. I've been thinking about you guys. It's been a stressful time for all of us, don't you think? It has been very stressful, I think, for all of us. And I think that, Edna, you've been in our thoughts and prayers. You and your family. I think for many of us, it's like almost hard to believe the ridiculousness that we've gone through with these natural disasters, right? It's like been so, it's been so shattering for many of us just to think that, you know, it could happen to anyone and at any time. And, you know, it's like, it just makes me think like life is too short and I can't live with any regret. That's what's been going on for me. I don't know if you guys want to share anything that's been going on with you, but that is what's been going on in my world. Like no regret. No regret, no regret, no regret. Okay, I'm just going to try to keep my pages together because this is the top, and I'm just trying to keep my pages together so that I can, when I finally can sit down to, when I finally get all my holes punched to bind it, it'll be easier to put together. All right, all you lurkers, say hey. For those of you who have never joined me, this is your first stream, say hi. We don't bite. We can see you out there, but we don't bite. Okay, this is the top. And we want to say hi, and we want you to know that we want you here and that we welcome you, all of you. This one has a hole too. I have everybody that I know saving me all of these. Any security envelope possible, they're saving me. Okay? I'm like, I think I'm the hoarder of security envelopes. Like I have friends that say, I went to visit my sister and she works for this place and they had some cool security envelopes and I brought you some. Oh no, you had an emergency appendectomy, Kate? Oh no! Well, I hope you feel better. That is like so, I'm so sorry. Virginia says she has a tool like mine and standing up to use it, you can do 10 pages or so. Oh, good to know, Virginia. This table's so rickety, though, that I'm working on, Virginia. I'm afraid if I tried to do 10 pages at one time, I might knock the table over, which would then knock my whole computer system over and my camera. But I think I did it all that time. Yes, I did. Yay! Okay, now I just need to put it all back together. Put it all back together. Okay, I do need a different size piece of thread because that one's going to be too small for my junk mail. That one is going to be too small, too short. Yes, hey, hi all you newcomers. Welcome to Crafting Mamas. Welcome to our wonderful group of ladies. And I don't think there's any gentlemen tonight, but you never know. And we're happy you're here. And we also have a Facebook group. If you guys want to go over and join it, everyone is welcome. Doesn't matter what kind of crafting you do. Mary's saying hi to all the newcomers, and I'm saying hi to you too, and I'm saying speak up. Come on, lurkers, say hey. Kate, I hope you feel better. I mean, I'm so sorry. Yes, I appreciate all of you hanging out with me. Hi, Salvage Gal. Welcome, welcome. Okay, everybody, now's the part of the night where we all say where we're from. So, on your mark, get set, go. I'm from Hawaii, and I live in the beautiful island of Maui, and my name is Shelly. Better known as Crafting Mama. I'm glad you're almost healed, Kate. That's crazy. We're happy you're here with us. Okay, guys, I'm so blind I can't even thread my needle. Is that ridiculous? The other one I threaded in like 2 seconds. This one I can't. Cats from New Zealand, South Africa, Kentucky, another New Zealand, Arkansas, Princeton, West Virginia, Illinois, Kansas, Portland, Oregon, New Jersey, Tennessee, Midwest Illinois, Robinson, Illinois, New Smyrna Beach, Florida, Laurel's from Hoffman Estate, Illinois, Daytona Beach, Florida. Guys, I'm so blind I can't even see to thread my needle. Montana, Chicago, Cincinnati, Little Rock, awesome. Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Portland, Oregon. You're from Portland, so is Jane, you're from Portland, so is Ash. She's from Portland too. Okay, now is the tricky part. I'm gonna have to try and line up all my middle sections here. Oh, Amberly, I'm sorry. Well, hopefully you can get it all straightened out. They should be able to credit you your payment back fast. Chi-Town. Well, I'm planning on coming to Portland, so I hope I get to see you when I get to come to Portland. Maybe you'll have to get together with me and Ash, Jane, when I come to Portland. I don't know exactly when that'll be. I'm hoping in the next few months. I have to go to the East Coast in a month or so, so maybe I'll be able to stop in Portland on my way back. Go Bears! I'm sorry, Amberly. You know, I think sometimes it feels like when it rains, it pours. You know, I would love to see you guys. I would so love to see you guys. I would so love to see you guys. It would make me, that would be like, that would be on the top of my list. That'd be like one of my highlights. Okay, this one I think I'm going to tie on the inside, so I'm going to leave my tail on the inside while I finish sewing the outside. You're going to be in Little Rock next week? Oh, that's awesome, Scotty. I love it when you guys all make new friends. I think paint makes everything better, Amberly. Paint makes everything better. Painty papers makes everything better. In my world, painty papers make everything better. Just try and stay positive, Am. So that's all you can do. You know, you can't, like, some weeks, some days, it's just like, seriously? This is my life? What is going on? I get it. I so get it. Okay, I would advise you to clip your stuff down. Don't be like me and then try and, like, do it without clipping it, because sometimes what happens, you get it all out of whack. But this one won't be out of whack. These pages are all just going to be folded in. Let me see, what is this? So I'm planning on this weekend to continue my calamari along with all my paperwork. And hopefully I'm hoping by next week to be able to do a real video walkthrough of my crazy mess of my little space, because I get so many requests, but my space is small, and right now it is just, I have gone through and like purged so many things that it is got a lot to go with, got a lot to still work on that I haven't I don't want to pull my pages tight until I make sure I've got them all in. Okay. I may have to go back and put another hole in there. It just seems a little loose. Don't know. So I'm hoping, my goal would be next week, but I can't make a promise to that because my life doesn't feel like it's my own. It's like all of a sudden, just when I think I can get it together, stuff backfires. Do you know what I mean? Does anybody else have that experience of the backfiring part? Okay, but you guys get the idea, right? So now I'm going to leave it like a single knot thing, so if I want to go back and fix it, I can. So now I have one with junk mail, right? And this I think I don't know if I'm going to glue it in or what I'm going to do with it. Okay, I got some junk mail going on in here. This is my junk mail one. This is my coffee dyed paper one. I'll put my needle up before I lose it. And this is my paper bag one. So I just want you to see that it's like not hard to make yourself a simple junk journal. It's really, really, really not hard. You love watching me make a fool out of myself, Vicki? Oh, Vicki, you have no idea. Okay, so I got my mess going on here. My table. This is not, usually I've got glue and paint everywhere, so it's not so bad. And now really all I have left to do is to decide like what I'm going to do. Like this one definitely needs some sort of closure. I should put something cool in the front, but what, I don't know. The other thing I could do is I could put my wrap around here and then do the whole full front cover. This one, it needs some embellishments, and that's like the easiest part, right? I can make tags and tabs and make tuck spots for it. That is like not a big deal. Making little corner pockets and using all my little, I think I have some somewhere around here, using my little library pockets that I've made. You can put those. I should find some that better color coordinate, but put some in the back and the front. And then this is the same thing. I mean, I just have to decide what I'm going to do with my junk mail. And then this one's similar. This is just super simple, right? Super, super simple. Super, super, super simple. It's not hard. You like the black and gold? You know what it was? It was chalkboard paint. It's chalkboard paint for the bottom coat, and then it's cheap. This cheap apple barrel gold one, like made by that, or Americana. It's like really cheap. It's like whatever you can get super cheap. And then I think I should I'm thinking of my napkin decoupage. Like I have, where did I put it? Guys, I'm out of my mind. Somewhere I thought I had brought one of these napkins over here. Like look, wouldn't this be cool if I paper napkin decoupaged on the inside of this? And then when you look through the window, you see the flowers. I mean, I have to work on it. You like the envelope journal the best? Well, I'll try to work on them a little bit this week, and then I'll show them to you again on Tuesday. Yep, I could definitely put a homemade button on my thing for closure. Absolutely. I just have to decide whether I want what's cool about this one is it doesn't really matter what's the top or the bottom because I haven't put anything on it yet. But I could put the button. I could also put this on the inside and put the button here. Yeah, you're right, Luana. I could do all of it. It doesn't even matter. Bye, Mary. Hope you have a really good night. All right, my lovelies. You like the mixture of everything? I like the mixture of everything too, Amberly. And then I have my junk mail sitting over here on the floor that's drying that I didn't mess with yet. But what I might do is I might take the time to just start gluing stuff in. So when I see you guys next time, I can show you what it looks like as a glue book. Good night, Linda. I hope I see you again. Okay, my ladies, let's have like a couple minutes of some energy work if you want to. And for those that want to receive the energy work, just say yes. And for those that don't, just say no. And you can say it to yourself. It's conscious consent and it doesn't matter. Oh, it's okay, Salvage. It happens. I haven't painted my journal from Shannon yet. Scotty, you know what? I started making some papers for it, and I made some pockets for it. And then I talked with Shannon briefly, or chatted with her, messaged her, whatever. We messaged each other, and because I told her I wanted to put fabric on it, and I was thinking of, because I haven't heated up I haven't used that vinyl before. She said that if I wanted to use some sort of Wonder Under or fabric, you know what I mean, Stitch Witchery or whatever, I can't think of the name of it is, that it would work good. So I'm going to definitely, I may paint one of them, and then I may make a jacket for one. I don't know. I'm just sort of out there. I've started making some pages for it, and that has been really fun. Like I started saving some really fun painty papers that I've made. So I'm going to put those in there, and then I made some folder pockets. I'll show them to you. It's really fun. I'll try to remember to do it on Tuesday. It's actually, I've been working outside, so I have a box of stuff that sits in my little carport so that I can sit outside. I've been sitting outside and trying to just be outside and make my stuff. Yeah, let's have a little woo-woo time. And for those that, Fabri-Tac. No, it's like it's the ironing on kind of stuff. It's called Wonder Under, Stitch Witchery. It's like you iron. It's double-sided ironing adhesive. So like it has like a shiny paper on one side, and then the other side's got the bonding stuff, and you iron it onto fabric, and then you peel it off, and then iron it onto your surface. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, my lovelies. If you guys want to hang out and have a little energy boost, I'm inviting you all now. Hi, Ann. So, fusible web. Yes, Kayla, that's what it's called, fusible web. You guys can tell I'm definitely having a brain moment. Okay, everyone, put your feet on the floor and breathe in and feel your connection to the center of the earth. Breathe in that energy. And feel that energy fountaining out the top of your head. I want you to image the highest point of creation, cosmic energy. And I want you to breathe in that beautiful silvery diamond light into the top of your head. And allow it to flow out through your feet. Now I want you to focus on your heart. And I want you to breathe in all the support and love and everything that you need. I want you to breathe that in. And on the exhale, I want you to release anything that's not serving you. And breathe it in. And exhale. And breathe it in. And exhale. Breathe in all of the love and the support that the universe has right here for you, right here now. Breathe it in. And on the exhale, release anything that's not working for you. Focus on your heart. Receive in love and give in love. I'm receiving love and give in love. And one more time. Receive in love and give in love. All right, my lovelies. Know that I'm always here for you, and I'm sending you so much love. Always, always, always. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for spending the time with me. I know Charlie hears the kids outside. They're all coming to the door now yelling. Anyway, ladies, I'll see you on Tuesday. Maybe I'll see you on Sunday if you go and join Caged Fish, Carla, for her Sunday Football Widows afternoon glue book. And as always, from my heart to your heart, I'm sending you so, so, so much aloha. Know that this energy work's always available for you. Today was about love and peace. Peace and serenity, right? So always, always, always. Love you, ladies. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you. Good night, Virginia, and I'll see you all on Tuesday. Good night, everybody. Big hugs and kisses. Aloha.